He saved me, Mom. The human who rescued the alien princess finally meets the sovereign. The signal had been weak and broken, a simple distress call bouncing across the edge of the border zone. Most pilots ignored it. Humans were known here as reckless, and the border zones were dangerous for anyone. But Adam could not ignore a call for help. The voice had been panicked, terrified, but alive. He tightened his grip on the controls, feeling the ship shudder as he entered the debris field surrounding the transport. Sparks floated in the blackness of space, and twisted metal glinted faintly under the distant starlight. Inside the alien transport, Princess Lena struggled to free herself. Her ship had been ambushed by raiders, creatures that targeted transport vessels along the unguarded routes. Lena's people had warned her never to travel alone, but her escort had been caught off guard. She had been trapped in the lower compartment, smoke filling the narrow hallways, alarms blaring around her. The walls were damaged, and the hum of the ship's systems flickered in and out. Panic threatened to overtake her, but she forced herself to stay calm. She had survived disasters before, but this felt different. There was something strange about this rescue. She did not yet know who would come, only that someone, somehow, might save her. Adam's ship maneuvered carefully through the wreckage. He was small, almost fragile compared to the larger transport, but his control was precise. He had trained for emergencies like this, and his instincts guided him past the floating wreckage, broken panels, and the occasional drifting corpse of the raider's own ship. He did not think of glory or reward. Only the call of someone in danger mattered. He followed the signal closer until the alien transport came into view. It floated, scarred and burning, but it was intact enough for him to approach. The moment he docked, Adam felt the tension in his chest rise. The docking bay lights flickered erratically. Smoke swirled through the compartment, and a faint smell of burned circuits filled the air. He took a deep breath and stepped into the transport. Every instinct told him to move slowly, carefully. He carried only what he needed, a small toolkit, a blaster for defense, and his courage. His human eyes adjusted to the dim light, scanning for threats. Princess Lena watched from a narrow corridor. She could not understand who had come. She had never expected anyone to answer a call for help. Space here was dangerous, and humans were rarely in these parts. The stories told by her people painted them as violent and unpredictable. Her heart raced when she saw a shadow move. The human stepped forward. His movements were calm, confident, yet careful. He did not charge or shout. He moved like someone who had thought through every step. Adam spotted her immediately. She was small, pale, and frightened, crouched against the wall. He knelt slightly, not wanting to startle her. "I'm here to help," he said softly. His voice was steady, even, and without threat. Lena stared at him, unsure if she should run or trust him. The human had a different energy than anyone she had ever met. He did not demand loyalty or bow to customs she had learned as a princess. He simply extended his hand. Who are you?" she whispered. "Adam," he replied. "I'm a human. I saw your signal and came to help." Lena's eyes widened. Humans were supposed to be dangerous. The records in her school had taught her that humans survived wars through strength, cunning, and aggression. They were not kind. They did not rescue strangers. Yet here was Adam, offering help without any demand, without hesitation. You're risking your life for me?" she asked. Adam nodded. "I help those in danger, that's all." Her fear did not vanish, but a spark of hope lit inside her. She moved cautiously toward him, still unsure but needing to escape the smoke and damaged corridors. Adam guided her with gentle words, pointing out hazards, debris, and weak flooring. Every step was careful, every move measured. He lifted a fallen panel blocking the path, letting her pass. She followed, relying on him, feeling the tension of the moment and the strange trust growing between them. They reached the central chamber of the transport. Smoke thickened there, and Lena coughed. Adam grabbed a small mask from his pack and handed it to her. She put it on, feeling slightly safer. He examined the controls and noticed the main air system failing. Using his tools, he worked quickly, connecting damaged circuits, rerouting power and restoring some life to the ship. Lena watched, amazed that a human could do this with calm focus. The raiders' threat was not gone. Some small drones remained on patrol, scanning for survivors or salvage. Adam spotted them on the view screen. He did not panic. He studied their movements and found gaps to move without being detected. "We need to get to the exit bay," he said. "Follow me and stay close." The journey was tense. Smoke burned their eyes and metal groaned under the stress of damage. Lena stumbled once, but Adam caught her, steadying her with a hand. She looked up at him. There was no fear in his eyes, only determination. It was a strange feeling. She had always been taught to fear humans, but now she wondered if the lessons had been incomplete. Finally, they reached the outer airlock. Adam quickly sealed his own ship's docking bay to the alien transport, creating a secure passage. He helped Lena float inside, her small hands gripping his arm. He secured her seat and checked the systems. "We're safe now," he said. Lena could only nod, still in shock at how a stranger had saved her. Adam's ship detached, moving away from the damaged transport. Lena watched her home ship shrink in the viewport. She wanted to say something to explain her gratitude, but words failed her. All she could do was stare at the human who had risked everything to save a life that was not his own. During the flight back to her homeworld, Lena learned small things about Adam. He did not come from a noble family, nor did he seek reward. He was simple, practical, and unafraid to face danger for the right reason. He told her about Earth, about humans who cared for each other and strangers alike. Lena listened, fascinated, realizing the stories of violent humans were only part of the truth. Adam never sought acknowledgement or thanks. He adjusted controls, monitored the ship, and occasionally asked about Lena's condition. He treated her as a person, not a princess, not a title. That respect, simple and honest, made a deep impression on her. She had expected arrogance, maybe fear, maybe selfishness. Instead, she found care, courage, and patience. When they finally reached the edge of her planet's orbit, Adam prepared the final docking. The atmosphere below glowed with the soft light of the morning sun. Rescue teams and patrol ships awaited, alerted to the transport's return. Adam ensured Lena was ready, helping her out of her seat, explaining how to handle zero gravity safely. As they entered the docking bay, Lena's eyes swept over the waiting officials. Many stared in shock at the human accompanying the princess. She realized that Adam's presence would cause tension. Aliens had long feared humans, treating them as legends of violence. Yet here was one, standing quietly beside her, calm and gentle. She felt a mix of pride and concern, knowing her people would not easily understand. The officers tried to question Adam immediately. He answered politely, calmly, never raising his voice. He described the rescue, the dangers, and his decision to respond. Lena added small details, confirming his words. The officials exchanged worried glances. Some whispered about the danger humans represented. Others were silent, confused by the lack of aggression in Adam's behavior. Lena's heart swelled with admiration. This human had done something incredible, not for reward, not for fame, but simply because it was right. She wanted her mother, the sovereign, to understand, but she feared the reaction of the council. Adam did not notice the tension. He focused on Lena, ensuring she was safe and comfortable before preparing to leave. For the first time, Lena thought that humans might not be the beings of legend her people had feared. They could be brave, strong, and kind. Adam was proof. She felt a strange connection forming, one that went beyond species, rank, or politics. He had saved her life, and in that act he had opened a door to something new, something she could not yet name. As Adam finally left the docking bay, returning to his ship, Lena watched silently. She wanted to thank him properly, but words seemed inadequate. She had been taught that humans were unpredictable, dangerous, and selfish. He had proven all of that wrong. And as the ship disappeared into the distance, she knew that this was only the beginning. The news spread quickly. Rumors traveled faster than light across nearby systems. "A human rescued the princess," they whispered. "The human who risked everything." Many doubted it. Some believed it was exaggeration. But for those who had seen Adam, there was no doubt. A human had crossed the stars, entered danger, and saved a life that was not his own. Lena stood in the quiet corridor of the palace later, reflecting on what had happened. She could not stop thinking about Adam, about his calm courage and gentle hands. He had seen her as a person, not a princess, and that simple truth changed everything in her heart. She wondered what it would mean for the future. Would her people finally see humans differently? Could trust be built where fear had existed for centuries? She did not have answers yet, only a feeling of awe, gratitude, and hope, and she knew she would never forget the human who had risked everything to save her. Adam Cole, the stranger who became more than a rescuer, someone who, in one brave act, had shown the galaxy a new possibility. Lena sat in the small cabin of Adam's ship, her hands folded nervously on her lap. The journey to her homeworld had begun, but tension hung in the air like a thick cloud. Guards from her people flanked her, their eyes flicking constantly toward Adam. Many of them did not trust him. Humans had a reputation for unpredictability and danger, and Adam's presence in the ship stirred unease among even the most experienced officers. Lena, however, was calm. She knew the truth of what Adam had done, and that truth gave her courage. Adam adjusted the ship's controls, scanning the path ahead. He had plotted a route that avoided known patrols and potential hazards. His eyes moved carefully across the dashboard, fingers ready on the switches. Every action he took was deliberate. He did not rush, nor did he hesitate unnecessarily. Lena watched him, fascinated by the quiet confidence he displayed. It was unlike anything she had seen. In her life, so many people acted out of fear, pride, or duty. Adam acted out of reason and care. "Are you always this careful?" Lena asked quietly. Adam glanced at her, a small smile forming. "I try to be. It helps people survive." Lena thought about that. Humans, she had learned, were often seen as brash and reckless, but Adam was the opposite. He did not boast about strength or skill. He simply used what he had to help others. "It's strange," she admitted. "I was told humans are dangerous, that they fight and destroy without thought." "They do fight," Adam said, shrugging lightly. "But not all of us are the same. Some of us care about life, about helping others. That's what matters." The journey was long. They traveled through empty sectors of space, silent except for the hum of the ship's engines and the occasional beep of a sensor. Lena learned small things about Adam during that time. He spoke of Earth, of oceans and forests and cities filled with people of every kind. He spoke of simple acts of courage and kindness, of neighbors helping neighbors and strangers protecting strangers. Lena listened, wide-eyed, imagining worlds so different from her own. Sometimes she caught him looking at her with quiet concern. A small piece of debris might strike the ship, or an old panel might spark, and he would act immediately to fix it, ensuring she was safe before anything else. She felt her respect for him growing. He had already saved her life once, but now she saw how careful and thoughtful he truly was. One evening, as the distant stars shifted past the viewports, Lena spoke again. "Do you ever worry that my people will not accept you?" Adam paused, hands resting on the controls. "I don't worry about it," he said simply. "I just do what is right. If others understand it, that is good. If not, I will still do what is right." Lena nodded, understanding him more than anyone had before. He did not act for reward or recognition. He acted because it was the correct choice. That simple philosophy carried more power than any weapon she had ever known. The ship passed through a minor meteor field, tiny stones tumbling through the void. Lena flinched as one struck the hull, rattling the cabin. Adam's hands moved quickly, guiding the ship smoothly past the danger. "It's okay," he said, his voice steady. "We are fine, just hold on." She did as he said, gripping the edge of her seat, feeling the calm certainty in his voice. It was strange to feel safety in the presence of a human she had been taught to fear. Days passed. The journey was long, and conversations filled some of the silence. Lena told Adam about her childhood, about learning the customs and rules of her people. She spoke of studies in history, diplomacy, and survival, while Adam listened with interest. He did not judge her or correct her. He asked questions, learning from her just as she learned from him. One day, a warning flashed on the screen. A patrol vessel from her homeworld was approaching. Adam studied it, frowning slightly. The patrol would not attack directly, but their scanners might detect them. "We need to act calm," he said. "We can't hide completely, but we can show that we mean no harm." Lena felt her stomach tighten. The guards had prepared for conflict, their fingers on weapons. She raised a hand, signaling for them to remain calm. Adam adjusted the ship's trajectory slightly, sending a signal to identify them properly. The patrol scanned, then veered slightly, allowing them to pass without confrontation. Lena exhaled slowly, grateful for Adam's quick thinking. During the same day, Lena realized something unexpected. She had begun to trust Adam completely, not only as a rescuer but as a companion in this journey. She felt safe with him, calm in ways she had never felt before. Even the guards noticed, their suspicions softening slightly as Adam's steady actions proved reliable. Night passed and they floated silently through space, stars stretching endlessly beyond the viewports. Lena leaned against the cabin wall, watching the distant light of a small sun. "Adam," she said softly, "when we return home, what will they think of you?" Adam shrugged, eyes on the controls. "Some will be afraid, some will be curious. I cannot control their thoughts. I can only do my part." She nodded, realizing that humans were capable of bravery not for reward or recognition, but for the sake of doing what was right. The thought made her heart swell with admiration. Suddenly, the ship's alarms rang. A small shuttle appeared on their radar, moving toward them at speed. Adam's eyes narrowed. "Stay calm," he said. "They may not know we are carrying you safely. We need to show them our intentions." The shuttle drew closer, and Adam activated the communication system. A voice came through, commanding identification. Adam spoke clearly, explaining the situation. Lena added her voice, confirming the truth. Slowly, the shuttle's course adjusted. They allowed them to pass without confrontation, and the threat passed. Lena exhaled in relief, her hands trembling slightly. For the next few days, the journey continued with minor hazards and challenges, each met by Adam with calm intelligence. Lena began to see a pattern in his behavior. He did not act recklessly. He did not let fear guide him. Every decision was deliberate, considered, and aimed at keeping them safe. She realized that this quality, more than courage or strength, was what made him different. One evening, as the distant light of a gas giant painted the cabin in pale colors, Lena asked about Earth. "What is it like?" she asked. Adam smiled faintly. "It is a planet with oceans, mountains, forests, and cities. Humans live everywhere. Life can be hard, but we care for each other. Some humans are strong and brave, some are kind, and some, like me, try to help when we can." Lena studied him, realizing that the stories of humans she had been told were only part of the truth. They had always been painted as dangerous, unpredictable, violent. But Adam was proof that humans could be brave in ways her people had not expected. The ship began its final approach to her homeworld. Lena felt her stomach tighten with nervousness. This part of the journey was the hardest. She would be returning to her mother, the sovereign, and the council. Many would question Adam's presence. Many would distrust him. Yet she felt certain that the truth of what he had done would matter more than fear. Adam noticed her tension. "It will be okay," he said. "Trust what you know." She nodded, grateful for his quiet confidence. Together, they entered the orbital path of her homeworld. Patrol ships and docking teams awaited them. Adam prepared the ship carefully, guiding it through the atmosphere without error. Lena felt the cabin shake as they passed into gravity, and her heart pounded with anticipation. When they finally landed, guards approached immediately, scanning and questioning. Many eyes turned toward Adam, suspicious and wary. Lena stood tall beside him. "He saved my life," she said firmly. "He deserves respect." Some of the officials whispered, some stared in disbelief. A human had saved the princess, traveled safely with her, and now stood calmly among them. Lena realized that the journey had already begun to change opinions. Adam did not argue or defend himself unnecessarily. He answered questions politely, describing the rescue and the journey with calm honesty. Lena's words added confirmation, and the officials began to see that this human was not a threat but a protector. Later, as they walked toward the palace, Lena looked at Adam. "Thank you," she said quietly. He nodded, smiling faintly. It was the right thing to do. For Lena, the journey had not only been about returning home. It had been about discovering courage, trust, and the possibility that humans could be more than the dangerous creatures her people had feared. She realized that the story of Adam Cole, the human who had rescued her, would change the way her people saw the galaxy forever. The ship faded behind them as they entered the grand halls of her homeworld. Lena felt a strange mix of fear and hope. Soon, she would meet her mother, the Sovereign, and introduce her to the human who had risked everything. She wondered how that meeting would go. But one thing was certain. Adam's calm courage and quiet strength had already proven more powerful than fear, and the journey to the throne had begun. The great hall of the palace was enormous, filled with light that reflected off smooth floors and tall walls. Guards lined the sides, their expressions stern and careful. The council members had gathered, whispering among themselves as they watched Adam and Lena approach. Every step echoed through the hall, and the air was thick with tension. Adam walked steadily, hands visible and empty, his calm presence contrasting with the fear and suspicion surrounding him. Lena stayed close, holding his arm lightly, feeling both pride and anxiety. At the far end of the hall, a raised platform held the throne, where the sovereign Elara waited. She was tall and regal, her eyes sharp as she studied the pair approaching. The legends of humans had reached her ears: violent, unpredictable, strong, dangerous. Now one stood calmly before her daughter who had been rescued by him. Elara's lips pressed into a thin line, unsure how to respond. Her daughter had survived, but the involvement of a human challenged every rule, every record, and every warning she had received about their kind. Adam knelt slightly as they reached the platform, following what he assumed to be the proper gesture of respect in this situation. Lena quickly corrected him, shaking her head. "Stand," she said softly. "My mother will understand better if you meet her as yourself." Adam straightened, showing no fear, no arrogance. He simply stood, his posture relaxed but attentive. Lena looked at her mother and spoke, her voice clear and firm. "Mother, this is Adam Cole. He rescued me when my ship was attacked. Without him, I might not be here." Elara's eyes narrowed. She studied Adam carefully, searching for a hidden motive, a flaw, or some sign of danger. Adam did not flinch under her gaze. He spoke clearly and directly. "Your daughter was in danger. I acted to save her. That is all." Elara's council murmured in surprise. Some leaned toward each other, whispering warnings and doubts. Others looked at Adam with curiosity, noticing the lack of arrogance or threat in his demeanor. Lena watched her mother carefully, knowing that how Elara responded now could shape their future. "Do you understand what you have done?" Elara asked finally, her voice both commanding and questioning. Adam nodded. "Yes, I understand the risk and I understand the value of a life. I acted because it was the right thing to do." Elara tilted her head slightly, studying him more. "Many humans have been described as dangerous. They survive through strength, through cunning, through fear. You claim to be different, Why should I believe you? Adam looked directly at her, steady and honest. Because my actions are proof. I did not seek reward. I did not act out of fear or pride. I acted to protect your daughter. That is the way I choose to live. Lena stepped closer, her small hand brushing against his arm. Mother, he saved me. He did not care about rank, titles, or fear. He only cared that I would live. That is the truth of humans, at least this one. Alara's eyes softened slightly, though her posture remained commanding. She had always known that Lena had a strong sense of judgment, a clear mind. If Lena trusted him, perhaps there was more to this human than the old records suggested. Still, suspicion lingered among the council members. Tell me exactly how you rescued her, Alara said. Her tone was firm, demanding full truth. Adam did not hesitate. He spoke of the ambush, the damaged corridors, the hazards he had faced. He described the careful steps he had taken, the tools he had used, and the patience required to navigate the transport safely. Lena added details, confirming his story, noting moments where his courage had been critical. The council members listened, some frowning, some whispering, some simply watching. Slowly, their expressions shifted from doubt to cautious respect. Adam had acted without fear, without recklessness, and without seeking reward. That alone was remarkable. Humans were often feared because of their unpredictability. This human had been predictable only in his goodness. Alara remained silent for a moment, absorbing the story. Then she spoke, her voice calm but commanding. You have proven courage, honesty, and respect. I have seen enough to know that you mean no harm. Yet your presence here is unusual and your kind is not well understood. How do I know that you will not bring danger to my people in the future? Adam paused, considering the question. I cannot speak for all humans. I can only speak for myself. I will not harm your people. I will act to protect life whenever I can. That is my promise. Lena watched as her mother studied him. Alara's expression softened further, her sharp gaze now tempered with curiosity. She could see the truth in Adam's eyes. He was not a warrior seeking conquest, not a spy seeking advantage. He was a protector, guided by a simple principle: do what is right. Very well, Alara said finally. I will allow your presence, though under careful observation. You have my respect for your actions and my gratitude for saving my daughter. That alone is rare, and it speaks more than any words. Adam nodded politely. Thank you, Sovereign Alara. I will honor your trust. Lena felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Her mother had accepted Adam's presence, at least for now. She knew the council might take longer to adjust, but the first and most important step had been taken. Her mother had seen the human not as a threat, but as an ally, as someone capable of good. The council members remained quiet, exchanging glances. Some were still cautious, but even they could not ignore what had been demonstrated. Courage, intelligence, and honesty were difficult to deny. Adam had not only saved the princess but also presented himself with dignity and respect, challenging centuries of fear and misunderstanding. After a short pause, Alara gestured for them to move closer. She spoke directly to Adam. You will accompany us in the coming days. We will observe your actions and you will meet with advisors and officials. This is not punishment but introduction. We will learn from each other, and perhaps your presence can build a bridge between our species. Adam inclined his head. I will do my best. I only wish to help where I can. Lena smiled faintly. For the first time, she felt the weight of fear lifting from her people. Adam's courage and patience were already changing opinions. Perhaps humans could be more than legends of danger. Perhaps they could be allies, friends, protectors. In the following days, Adam accompanied Lena and Alara throughout the palace. He observed customs, learned titles, and spoke with caution and respect. Every interaction he had impressed the officials more. He asked questions to understand, he listened to answers carefully, and he acted with honesty in every situation. Slowly, the whispers of doubt began to fade. Lena's admiration for Adam grew with each passing moment. He had saved her life once, and now he was showing her people that humans could be trustworthy, capable, and kind. She realized that courage was not always measured in strength or weaponry. Sometimes it was shown in patience, honesty, and simple acts of care. Adam embodied all of those qualities. Alara observed quietly. She had expected difficulty, perhaps even confrontation. Instead, she found herself learning from him. His perspective, though different, carried clarity and insight. He was brave not because of weapons or skill alone, but because of principle. And that principle had saved her daughter. One morning, Alara summoned Adam to her private chambers. "Adam," she said, "you have shown more than courage. You have shown wisdom. I want you to remain here for a time, to help us understand your kind and to show others that humans can be more than our fears suggest." Adam bowed slightly. "I will do as you ask, Sovereign Alara." Lena watched the exchange, feeling pride and relief. The journey had been long and the outcome uncertain. But now her rescuer had been recognized, and the first steps toward acceptance had begun. Outside the palace windows, the stars stretched endlessly, a reminder of the vast galaxy waiting beyond. Lena felt hope for the future for her people and for humans like Adam. One human had crossed the stars, risked life and safety, and shown courage and compassion. That act, she realized, could change everything. As Adam walked beside her and her mother, Lena reflected on the journey so far. It had begun with fear and uncertainty, with danger in the depths of space. It had passed through rescue, trust, and careful understanding. Now it moved into a future of possibility. The human who had saved her was no longer just a stranger. He was a bridge, a symbol of hope, and a reminder that courage and kindness could transcend fear and history. Alara turned to Adam. "We will watch your actions closely, but already you have earned a place here. Not as a guest, but as someone who can teach us about courage, about truth, and about humanity." Adam nodded, his calm expression unchanged. "I will do my best to live up to your trust, Sovereign." Lena felt a warmth spread through her chest. She had never expected this outcome, never imagined that the human who had saved her would be seen not as a threat but as a teacher, a guide, and a symbol of hope. She realized that the galaxy was changing, one small act of courage at a time. And as they looked out together toward the stars, Lena knew that the story of a human who crossed danger to save a princess would be remembered not only for bravery but for the power of kindness, honesty, and courage. Adam had proven that humans could be more than fear and legend. He had shown that they could be heroes in ways that history had never imagined. The great hall, once filled with tension and suspicion, now felt lighter. Whispers of doubt remained, but they were quieter. Curiosity and cautious respect had begun to grow. Lena, standing beside her mother and Adam, realized that this was only the beginning. The human who had rescued her was no longer just a stranger in a strange galaxy. He was part of something larger, a new possibility for understanding, trust, and alliance across the stars. The palace was quieter now than it had been in the first days of Adam's arrival. The tension that had gripped the halls since Lena's rescue had softened. Curiosity had replaced fear, and cautious respect had begun to grow among the council and officials. Lena walked beside Adam, feeling pride and relief. Her rescuer, the human who had crossed the stars to save her, was no longer just a stranger. He was a symbol of courage and possibility, and she could see that even her mother, Sovereign Alara, was beginning to trust him fully. Adam moved with quiet confidence. He had learned the customs quickly and adjusted to the palace routines. He spoke politely, listened carefully, and acted with honesty in every situation. His presence was no longer a source of fear, but a reminder that humans could act with integrity, courage, and care. The officials who had doubted him now observed him with cautious admiration. The council gathered once more, this time to discuss a proposal that Lena had been pushing quietly since Adam's arrival. She had argued that humans, or at least some humans, deserved a chance to be known, to demonstrate their capabilities beyond legend and rumor. Some council members resisted, citing ancient warnings about humans, but Lena and Alara spoke strongly in Adam's favor. His actions had proven more than any argument could. Finally, Alara spoke to the council. This human, Adam Cole, has shown courage, honesty, and respect. He has risked his life to save my daughter, and he has acted with integrity at every moment since. His presence here should not be feared but studied, respected, and considered as a new path for our people. Let us open our eyes to the possibility that humans may be allies, protectors, and partners in the galaxy. The council members murmured among themselves. Some nodded, others remained hesitant, but the decision was clear. Humans were no longer banned from interaction. They would be welcomed, studied, and given a chance to prove their value. Adam's actions had rewritten centuries of fear and legend in a matter of days. Lena watched Adam, her heart swelling with pride. "You did it," she whispered. Adam looked at her, a small smile forming. "We did it," he said simply. "You spoke for me. That made all the difference." The following days were filled with preparations. Adam was introduced to advisors, scientists, and diplomats. He answered questions, explained Earth and humanity, and shared lessons of courage, care, and survival. Each interaction slowly built bridges between humans and this alien civilization. Some officials remained skeptical, but they could not deny the proof in Adam's actions and Lena's testimony. Outside the palace, news spread quickly. Messages and reports traveled across the systems. A human had saved a princess and earned the respect of her sovereign. Other species began to reconsider their fears, realizing that humans could be more than legends of violence. Adam had become a symbol, not just of courage, but of the potential for trust and cooperation across species. Lena took Adam to the observation balcony one evening, overlooking the city below. The lights glimmered like stars, and the air was warm with the scent of gardens and water. She looked at him, her expression thoughtful. "Do you know what you have done?" she asked. Adam shrugged lightly. "I saved a life. I followed what I believed was right, that is all." Lena shook her head, smiling. "It is more than that. You have changed how my people see humans. You have shown them that courage is not only about fighting. It is about honesty, care, and doing what is right even when no one is watching." Adam looked at her, quiet and humble. "I only did what I had to do. The rest, that is up to others." "Others will follow," Lena said. "They will see what you have shown us. Humans may finally have a place in this galaxy, not as fearsome strangers, but as allies, protectors, and friends." In the following weeks, Adam worked with scholars and diplomats, sharing stories of Earth and humanity. He explained how humans face challenges together, how they protected each other, and how courage often came in small, quiet acts rather than grand battles. The aliens listened, fascinated. They had long relied on fear and caution in their dealings with humans, but Adam's actions and words revealed another side, a side of wisdom, kindness, and bravery. Alara observed him with a mixture of curiosity and respect. She had been cautious at first, worried for her daughter and her people. But Adam's calm, honest, and thoughtful nature had won her over. He had shown what humans were capable of when guided by principle, not violence or ego. She began to see that humanity's greatest strength was not in weapons or conquest, but in the ability to act rightly, to protect, and to inspire trust. Lena noticed the changes among the officials as well. They watched Adam, listened to his words, and adjusted their assumptions. Fear of humans did not vanish completely, but it softened, replaced by respect and cautious hope. The princess felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Adam had not only saved her life, but he had also changed the future for humanity in this part of the galaxy. One afternoon, Adam accompanied Lena and Alara to a ceremony in the palace courtyard. Representatives from nearby systems had gathered to witness the beginning of a new era of cooperation. Adam's presence was noted, and whispers of curiosity and admiration followed him. He remained calm, quiet, and focused, his actions showing more than words could. Alara stepped forward and addressed the crowd. Today, we recognize the courage and integrity of one human, Adam Cole. He has shown us that bravery is not always measured by strength, but by the choices we make to protect life and act rightly. Let his actions be a lesson and an example for all who hear them. Applause rippled through the crowd, and Lena stood beside Adam, her smile radiant. She felt pride for both of them, her rescuer and herself for believing in him. Adam nodded respectfully, accepting the recognition without arrogance. After the ceremony, Lena led Adam to a quiet garden within the palace grounds. The air was warm, filled with the scent of flowers and water from nearby fountains. She looked at him seriously. "You have changed everything," she said softly. "Not just for me, but for humans everywhere. You have shown that fear can be replaced by trust and legends can be rewritten by truth." Adam looked at her, his calm expression unchanged. "I only did what I had to do. The rest, the change, that is because of everyone who is willing to see the truth. You believed in me. That made it possible." Lena smiled, feeling the weight of his words. "I do believe in you, and now others will too. Humans will finally have a place, not as fearsome outsiders, but as friends and protectors." In the weeks that followed, Adam continued his work. He met with scientists, sharing ideas about technology and exploration. He spoke with military leaders, offering strategies for defense that relied on intelligence, caution, and care rather than aggression. He visited schools and training academies, teaching young aliens the value of courage and kindness. Slowly, humanity's reputation began to shift. Where fear had ruled, respect and hope now grew. Lena watched him closely, feeling gratitude and admiration every day. She knew that Adam's impact would not be forgotten. He had crossed space, risked his life, and proven the value of courage, honesty, and compassion. In doing so, he had opened doors that had been closed for centuries. One evening, as they looked out across the city lights from the palace balcony, Lena spoke quietly. "Do you think humans will ever be fully trusted?" Adam looked at her, thoughtful. "Trust takes time. Some may always doubt. But if enough humans act rightly, as I have tried to do, then trust can grow. That is all we can do, show the right way with our actions." Lena nodded, understanding. "Then we will show them together." Adam smiled faintly. "Together." The stars stretched beyond the palace, bright and endless. Lena felt hope for her people, for the humans who had come so far, and for the future they could build together. Adam had proven that courage and kindness could transcend fear, history, and legend. The galaxy was changing, one action at a time, and humanity was finally beginning to take its place among the stars. As she stood there with Adam, Lena realized that he was no longer just a rescuer. He was a bridge, a symbol, and a teacher. He had shown that even in a galaxy full of fear, danger, and misunderstanding, one human could make a difference, and that difference would echo for generations to come. In that moment, Lena felt certain of one truth. Humanity's greatest strength was not in power or weapons, but in the choice to protect, to act rightly, and to inspire hope. Adam had proven that humans could be heroes, not through conquest, but through courage, honesty, and compassion. And as the stars sparkled above, Lena whispered softly, "Thank you, Adam, for everything." Adam simply nodded, his calm presence radiating the quiet certainty that had guided him through every challenge. "It was the right thing to do," he said. "Always." The galaxy watched, learned, and began to change. And humanity, once feared and misunderstood, had finally found a place among the stars. Not as invaders, not as legends of destruction, but as protectors, allies, and friends.